In this video, we are going to learn how to integrate using LNs, natural logs. We're definitely going to get into some U sub as we do this. So your warm-up, anti-set, do now, whatever you want to call it, is to do these three U substitution problems. So go ahead, hit pause, and do the problems. And in a moment, I will pop the answers up and you can verify if you remember how to do U sub. Here come the answers. All right, here you have like the short versions of the answers, just the solution. So I would have -2 cosine of x to the fifth plus 3 plus c for the first one, 1/3 sine cubed x plus c, and then e to the root x plus c for the last one. This one's maybe the more tricky one. I don't know. It depends on how you see things. I'm going to go through the details of each of these. So we'll zoom in a little bit here. So this first one, integral of 10x to the 4th times sine of x to the 5th plus 3 dx. The u is the inner function. So that's this piece right here. And then I find my du, I just derive this, and then the dx goes over here. It's a differential. So the du is 5x to the 4th. The 3 derives away. We look at this here. We say, oh, there's a 10. There's not a 5. So what do? I double everything. Notice if I multiply 5x to the 4th by 2, I get 10x to the 4th dx. Gives me a 2 du on the left side. And then this is going to get replaced with that. So I sort of, without showing it, moved this guy over to here. So 2 du is this. And then sine of u is that. And then usually we have that coefficient in the front. So the 2, I'm just going to move it up to the front there. I think many of you might skip this step and just put that 2 there. From there, it's something that I can integrate. So I get -2 cosine of u plus c. One mistake might be to leave this negative sign off, but remember, cosine derives to a negative sign, right? That people always confuse this and accidentally think that's positive, but it should be negative here because it'll give me a double negative when deriving that way. From there, I just have to sub my u back in, this guy right here, which I defined right there. So this thing goes here. I get -2 cosine of x to the 5th plus 3 plus a constant. Next one, sine squared x cosine x dx. I'm going to rewrite it with some brackets first. Sine squared times cosine x dx. Then I got to choose which one is the u. Is it the sine or is it the cosine? Because they sort of both derive to themselves, just with positives and negatives. Well, this sine is interior to another function, squared, so I'm going to make that one the u. U is sine, derivative of u is positive cosine. So this is my u. When I sub it, cosine x dx gets replaced by the du right there. 1/3 cosine, or sorry, then I can integrate that, 1/3 u cubed plus c, and I sub my sine back in and get this answer here. Next one, this one might be tricky because it's got 2 roots in it, and you have to decide which one is part of the u and which one is part of the du. I tried to make it as quote easy as possible by putting this 2 here. Maybe that helped, maybe it didn't. But I got e to the root x over 2 root x dx. Well, if we think about the root of x, we know that it derives to 1 over 2 root x. So if I make this my u, bam, and this then this becomes my du if I separate them out as into two separate pieces, because I can do that with multiplication. So I get 1 over 2 root x right there. That matches my du. Then I got e to the u du. Remember, e to the derives to e to the, and e to the integrates to e to the. So I get that right there. And then I just have to sub my u back in. So I get an answer of e to the root x plus c. Hopefully that either gave you a nice refresher for U sub, or it confirmed that you remembered U sub from before, or maybe you fell somewhere in between there. But I hope that we're in that range somewhere. So